Olivia Beavers, who is a phenomenal reporter over at Politico. You can read her online at Politico or on Twitter. You can see some stuff that she puts up there as well, at Olivia_Beavers. Hello, Olivia. Good to have you here. How are you?
Hey, Dwayne. Good to join you.
So we're going to get to your piece, which is a very fun piece, if not kind of sad and pathetic. But we're going to get to the George Santos piece in a minute because there's lots in there that it's very good reporting, even though it's kind of kicking my side when they're down a little bit. But that's fine. But there's a couple other things that are going to be happening. And since you're the congressional reporter extraordinaire for Politico, there's two different sets of oversight hearings that are going to take place in the next week that I want to see if you're going to be plugged into or reporting on or can give us any detail of what we might expect. One of those is the subcommittee to probe the COVID-19 pandemic. That's supposed to be in the offing next week. And the other one is the House Foreign Affairs Committee is going to be looking at Joe Biden's handling of Afghanistan and the pullout. Now, both of those are of great interest to me and of this audience. Do you have any insight as to what that may look like, who some witnesses might be, and what we can expect?
Well, yes, but I actually think the Foreign Affairs Committee one is supposed to be today, this morning.
Oh, okay.
And so just went and double checked myself, but they have a series of different types of people. So they have people who were specialists in the military, in the U.S. Army. They have people who were part of sort of evacuation groups that were going back and trying to get Americans and U.S. allies out. When there sort of seemed like this stall at times from the Biden administration to admit that there were Americans left behind. So that would be like the Task Force Pineapple sort of founder and people. And then you have, Allied Airlift 21 as well. So I think that they're going to be talking a lot about the efforts to get people back home, even when the messaging from the White House was different. And I remember writing stories about it at the time because there was some frustration on my end that story just at some point sort of disappeared from the press's, focus. And I was like, no, this is a really big deal. So I remember talking to Task Force Argos and the efforts to get people back home. There's also another one, and it wasn't mentioned, there's a worldwide threats hearing this morning as well. So it's going to be a busy morning. You have the CIA director, the FBI director, the heads of the DNI, DIA, and NSA all coming in to testify today. So we might be able to see sort of what the national security landscape is going to look like as well.
Do you know if on the witness list, maybe not in today's hearing, but somewhere in this overall focus, are they going to call John Ondrasik of Five for Fighting? Because he was one of the first guys actually on this and was very instrumental in trying to call out and get people connected and plugged into getting people out of there that were stranded and left behind.
Off the top of my head, I don't know, but I will go and ask around because I think that this is just sort of the start of what they want to do is paint a picture about how the evacuation went, and going from where it started is definitely, in their best interest to pull that sort of story and pull that yarn. And I wanted to give two quick updates because I know these are also committees that Hugh loves to talk about a lot. One thing to watch for the FBI's Weaponization Committee is they've had a letter out seeking the testimony of 16 FBI officials. If I understand it correctly, that deadline is today. And if they don't hear back, expect for Jim Jordan to start working on subpoenas.
Subpoenas, you betcha. You betcha. Yep. Absolutely. That's going to be a lot of fun. What you said there was another update too?
Yes, and for the Select China Committee, I know that McCarthy and Jeffries met with the full panel yesterday, and so that's sort of talking about their plans moving forward and reaffirming from both the two House leaders that they plan to keep this committee bipartisan, which is something that Chairman Gallagher has made a huge emphasis about.
That's going to be fascinating to follow too. Now, very quickly before we jump to the Santos piece. Chuck Schumer, in a press conference yesterday, signaled that he was basically sawing off the rest of the limb underneath the House progressives. after the D.C. crime bill fiasco. Is how angry are the House Democrats in total at how Joe Biden treated him?
They're my understanding and from conversations, they're really frustrated. They feel like they had a complete flip-flop, and they were sort of the ones who walked the plank and just kind of got pushed off in that sort of situation of saying, okay, well, President Biden's not going to support it. Oh, he is supporting this GOP resolution. So they're pretty pissed off.
Okay, biggest takeaway from the Santos piece. We got about 30 seconds. What's the biggest takeaway? It's a great piece. Everybody should go to Politico and read it. Olivia Beavers. What is the biggest takeaway?
The biggest takeaway is how fierce these new New York Republicans are in trying to separate themselves from Santos, from legislation, calling for him to resign, all the above. And then it's just spilling out into the public with this war of words. And Santos isn't taking it quietly, so it's becoming very dramatic.
Yeah, it is. It's a great piece, Olivia. It really is. It's kind of sad, but it's great reporting. Olivia Beavers at Olivia_Beavers. Thank you very much.